Hello and welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party. Happy Friday. I am one of your hosts, Anthony Ihrig. Our other host, Ellen Stanley, is somewhere in the great state of Alaska, trying to drive to the destination where she can arrive to co-host with me, and hopefully she'll make it. But either way, we are so excited to have Neal and Leandra joining us today.
Well, thank you, Anthony. Oh,
The sweet
Wow,
sounds.
just like
that's
old
been a long
times.
time. Yeah.
If you're new to the show, this is our weekly happy hour. Ellen and I get together with our favorite roots artists, and we grab a happy hour beverage.
Yep.
Cheers to you, and cheers to all of you
Cheers.
out there. And we get together and listen to music together with you. That's what this is all about. And people are really excited about this party. We have Chris already here. Hey, Chris. Hooray, it's Friday. A yummy Uda Pills, Czech style dark
Ooh,
lager. That sounds
nice.
delicious. Our friend Alan down in Texas. Hey, Alan, nice to see you. And Connie in Richfield. Hey, Connie. Joni, snowed in. Yes, this hour will be good medicine. Agreed there. Our good friend Joe's in South Minneapolis with Uncle Jim Beam for a winter's night. All
Good
right, our
choice.
past guest and friend Katie Dahl.
Hi,
Yay,
Katie.
Neal and Leandra. Wow, the party is really hopping today. We're so glad that you're all out there. That's what this is about. So it's a conversation. Let us know that you're out there. Let us know if you have comments or questions for Neal and Leandra. Let us know what you're drinking. Just let us know you're there because it makes it a lot of fun. And Neal and Leandra, so wonderful to have you on the program today.
Thank you.
I think a lot of people who are going to be tuning in today have heard your name before, but for those who are new to you and your music, would you mind just giving a brief bio of how you got started playing music together and maybe where the album we're going to listen to today falls in your musical timeline?
Okay, Neal, you take that.
Okie doke. Well, we started as a duo in 1918 at the end of World War I. Our career lasted almost 100 years. We actually first started in 89, wasn't it, Leandra?
88,
42,
actually.
88, 40. Well, anyway, we've been singing together for 42 years since we met. This week was 42 years ago, the first time we ever sang together as a duo in front of human beings at a college function. And then we started, once we figured out we were going to be stable enough to be married, we decided to formally be a duo. And then we did 25 years on the road, and golly, we played everywhere. We were in all 50 states, and played tiny little coffee houses, and then we played the Guthrie every year for 10 years. We did a showcase in Carnegie Hall. We did a house concert with 4 people where a dog threw up on Leandra's shoes. We've seen it all.
That's right.
Living the dream.
So, but then we retired from performing in 2012. So it has been 10 years since we have done any performing or recording or anything like that. So this is nice to be asked back.
Yeah.
We're so happy to have you here. Go ahead, Neal.
Well, I was just gonna say, if anybody notices Leandra down the background there, sometimes just occasionally we'll sing from our basement and just throw out a song on our Facebook page, just out of the blue, and then you'll never hear from us for months again. And
No.
that's just
We'll make sure to get that Facebook page so people can still see. And look at our good friend, Mother Banjo, Ellen.
Ellen!
Hello in Alaska. Ellen, we miss you. We wish you were here. Make sure you ask your questions in the comments, I guess, like everyone else. And there's a bunch more people that have showed up. Eva here in Linden Hills, and Linda, Hilton Head Island, and Lynn in South Carolina drinking a Sweetwater. And we have Carol, who loves you guys.
Hi, Carol.
And it's just great to have so many people together. And, this we talked a little about this before we went live, but, I mean, that's part of the reason that we do this show is because art isn't just what's new. It's like imagine all the paintings that ever were. You see them once and then they get discarded or something like that. We'd like to think of this as a museum of great art,
and we're the museum pieces. Really like
as long as it's a year older, it's considered kind of that no Spotify won't put it on a playlist. Nobody wants to interview you on their talk show. It's just whatever. It's last year's album, but there's so much great art that needs to be unearthed, and including the record we're going to listen to today, which is a holiday record. I probably should have said that right on the outset. It is December after all, and we have a nice blanket of snow here in Minnesota, and we're going to be revisiting your 2005 release, Angels and Fools. And maybe before we do you want to talk a little bit about your connection with holiday music? It sounds like this isn't your first holiday record, and you have a connection. You said you started singing together around this time of year. Where did the holiday music bug bite you guys?
Well, we started singing together around the holidays, back in 1981. The song we covered was The Peace Carol, which was by the Muppets and John Denver on the Muppets Christmas album. Yep. So that's how our taste runs. The Muppets Christmas album is a classic.
Yes,
and
it is.
Then right before our daughter was born in 1999, we were looking for a way to continue doing some of these community concerts that we did for years. And Neal said, gosh, we should do a holiday show. So we pitched them this holiday show and they picked it up. This was Columbia Artists. And then we were like, oh my gosh, we need to learn some holiday music. So because we're expert marketers, we did that holiday show for years without having an album. And then we were like, we should have a holiday CD, don't you think? So that was the first holiday CD. Yeah.
And it looked great on paper because it was one of those things where they go, oh, this is a great show. We can't wait to hear it. And we went, well, we can't wait to learn any of these songs. And I haven't written it. So we do about half original, half classics and stuff. And it's like, okay, I better start writing. So it worked out. And then the second one, this one that you're going to be listening to, some of the ones you listen to, actually, General Mills was doing.
That's right, I forgot.
They were putting CDs in cereal boxes, and they were
on wheat checks, rice checks, and
So General Mills got a hold of us and said, "Would you do it?" But they all had to be songs that were
public domain.
Public domain. So we did 5 songs for them, public domain. They paid for it all. It was kind of expensive, and then they shelved the project.
Oh no! But never made it into the serial.
Never made it into the serial, but it was okay because we had half of a recording already, and like, okay, let's just I'll write 5 or 6 songs, and then we'll be ready to send another one out. So,
wow, that's like the original content marketing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They just put it right in the cereal box. Well, so this is the second of the two, and this is half General Mills sponsored and half original, and that's really cool because original holiday music is not something actually that we get too often. I say we dive into this. We have a lot of music to get through, but the first song we have lined up here is Toyland. Is there anything you want to say about this before we give it a listen?
Well, I realized that this was probably a mistake because Neal doesn't sing on this.
No, this is our audience will love this. Neal doesn't sing on it.
We shouldn't have picked this one. It's not a classic, although he does play the guitar on it. So.
Yep, but I live to hear Leandra sing. I still do. So this is the greatest way to start this off is to hear her.
And where does this song come from for you guys?
My family was really big on those Firestone Christmas collections, the pop singers like Julie Andrews. And I remember this song was always on the collection sung by Doris Day. And my dad loved Doris Day. So I was like, we need to include this song.
Awesome. So it does have a little history for you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's kick off our weekend happy hour with Toyland. This is Neal and Leandra here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Toyland, little While you dwell within it, you are ever happy then. Childhood's joyland, mystic merry toyland. Once you pass its borders, you may never return again. Toyland, Toyland, little girl and boyland. While you dwell within it, you are ever happy then. Childhood's joyland, mystic merry toyland. Once you pass its borders, you may never return again.
Neal and Leandra, Toyland, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
So we should probably add Dirk Frameth was the electric guitar player on that tune. And it's, we don't listen to these. And it was like, wow, nice. He's amazing. So
that was, what great. I love the kind of just the ambience that brought. And I kind of agree with Joe here. He's like, this whole album has a comfortable, intimate feel, like some good friends stopping by to share a few tunes. And this really felt like we were sitting by a fire in a little log cabin somewhere, enjoying that. Ellen agrees. Beautiful.
Thanks.
Well, you know that.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just to say, both of our holiday recordings, we made a decision. It was Joe. So I was noticing Joe's comment as well, that we were going to make them as intimate as possible, and so we decided that we were going to have just one other instrument besides guitar on every song. So there is. That's it. So
one instrument. That's great. And doesn't it kind of, I don't know, to me, I like a good big production of a holiday show, with all the this and that. But I mean, when I think about holiday music, I think about being in a living room somewhere and singing with family and friends. And you definitely have captured that. That's great. So tell me a little bit about the recording process for this record. Was this something that, I know that Kellogg's was involved, so did you go down to the cereal plant?
General Mills.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oops. All right. I knew it was a big cereal. It was involved in some way, shape, or form. Was it almost like two records then? Did you kind of have like this one experience that was totally different? Did you do the three, the one extra instrument for the cereal portion as well? For the
Yep. So we had recorded that. Actually, we were in the studio recording a different album. I think we were recording Bridge Rail, maybe. And that's when General Mills called. So we recorded those 5 songs that were public domain. Kind of, then just had the master after they decided not to use it. And then we were like, well, it's silly not to put on another Christmas album. So we decided to do volume 2, but we recorded it someplace else. Rob Genetic is our producer and recording engineer, and he had a nice, at that point, that was downtown somewhere. I can't even remember where. I remember it was, both of us had seen this voice teacher who had recommended that both of us drink 2 gallons of water a day. So we were really into the water drinking. And I remember Rob getting really frustrated because I could barely get through a take without saying, excuse me, I got to run out. He's like, don't drink so much water. I'm like, yeah, that's why I sound good. So,
see, like great behind the scenes tidbits that,
There you go.
Was this like a lot of holiday records done in like the heat of July and August or something like that too?
Yep.
Yeah. It was one of those, but once you get into the song, it's like, well, I'm kind of a holiday person anyway. I love holiday music no matter when. So whenever it is, can be 100 degrees, can be 20 below. And I'm just like, oh, this is great. So then you walk outside and you go, oh, shoot, it's not Christmas.
Yeah.
We've done the last 2 seasons, we've done these holiday records, and it dawned on Ellen and I that, these are usually summer records, and it's fascinating how different people approach it. But that seems to be a theme that a lot of us can kind of get into that place once the music is there.
Yeah.
So fantastic. Well, Chris Jettner, one of our longtime listeners here, wants to know why no more performing.
Well,
Chris?
Should we tell?
Chris, can you see the color of our hair? And
No, it's not that. Well, I mean, what should we? Why no more performing? Well, 25 years. And I was telling, we were talking to Anthony beforehand. We did it for 25 years, full time, and that's how we made our living. We were all over the country. I know Leandra said, and this is a direct quote, I don't want to be 50 years old driving around the country in a minivan saying, what the heck? And and so we were 50, and that's when we stopped. But also, it was one of those things where just life kind of moves on, and you go, yeah, that's a nice bow on it. We did a CD release and we did it completely wrong because we had a release concert and all of our audience showed up. We finished the show and walked off stage, shook hands and say, good career, and didn't tell anybody. But what was weird, bad marketing is like usually you do a recording and then you go on the road and support it.
Sure.
But we were just like, okay, we're doing one more recording. We're going to go out to do these songs and then we'll move on to whatever. And now I still write tons of songs. Nobody ever hears them, but I found out that I didn't know if I wanted to, if I would keep writing songs if I wasn't getting people to hear them or getting paid for them. And so what has been nice for me is like, oh man, I will write songs till the day I die and nobody will ever hear them. And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's an
expression. It's a creative expression.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there wanting to hear them. I'll just put that out there. We'll put the email in the comments.
Well, when he says he's written hundreds of songs, one day
I didn't say hundreds of songs. I've written a bunch. And
that's what he tells everybody. I've got 100 songs that I've written. And so one day we sat down and we went through all of them. I'm like, yeah, there's not quite 100.
Well, no. No. Hang on a second, honey. There are 100 songs. I didn't say I wrote 100 good ones.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I have some really bad songs, but
there are 100 ideas.
Well,
she's wrong, and that's why I'm upstairs and she's in the basement.
Well, we had a comment from someone who got to play with you. Casey says, best Christmas present I ever received was playing guitar with the two of you.
Out in Custer, wasn't it?
One of the best gifts our daughter ever received was a flying fairy that they brought over to the house one day. It was so fun. It was like a Barbie fairy, and she was really into fairies. It was so sweet.
Yeah,
so
that was great.
And Joni is kind of jumping on that same train, Neal. It's wonderful to celebrate art for art's sake. It doesn't have to be commercial. It doesn't have to go in a cereal box to be good.
Yeah.
But if anybody would like to,
thank goodness.
Yes. But if anybody wanted to send us millions of dollars, we wouldn't turn it down. But
yeah.
Well, that seems like a great segue to let people know that before we got together, I said, "Do you have any more physical copies of this CD?" It's December. I'm sure people would love to have a hard copy that they can hear the high fidelity. And they said, "No, we don't have any." And they said, "Wait a minute, maybe we do." And they both went in their respective directions. And it sounds like you found a stash, correct?
I found 34 Angels and Fools in the closet, and 18 Listen to the Angels, and that's it. That's all that's left.
Folks, this is another back catalog listening party exclusive. This is your chance to pick up what is left of the new old stock of the holiday records. And it sounds like their website is not the best place to go. The web store is no longer available, correct?
No. Well, the website is actually dismantled, and the store was up for a long time, and unbeknownst to us, it stopped working in June. We were like, I wonder why we're not getting any orders. And then someone told us that the store's broken. So we're working on it, but if somebody's interested, just have them email me, and we'll figure something out. Because we can do downloads and all that kind of thing.
And if you want, you can also just tip them directly by buying one of these CDs. They said you could just put $15 in their tip jar at Venmo, their tip jar on PayPal. We have that scrolling across the screen. I'll put it in the comments as well. And they will mail you a physical copy of one of these records. And I think that would be a great thing to do to let them know how much you appreciate this music.
But you don't have to.
No.
How is that for marketing? You really don't have to.
That was the most, like Minnesotan. You don't have to. You don't really have to, but now you definitely have to. I can say that you have but you can let them know how much you appreciate them by at least sending them a note or just throwing a little bit in their tip jar at Leandra Peak or PayPal at music@nealandleandra.com. And again, I'll put that in the comments so you can check that out. Yeah, it's an interesting thing these days with streaming and everything. Like, should you still produce the physical, albums and things like that? But there's something to be said about a collection of songs, specifically, really, with these holiday records too. And so, I want to hear a little bit more about this particular collection. At least the 5 that weren't commissioned. I love public domain tunes. They create like this. We can talk about this later. Like just what you can do with somebody else's work. But I'd love to hear a little bit about writing original holiday music. How did you approach that for this record?
I have loved Christmas since I was little. And so our first recording, I don't know, it just puts me in a mood to sit down and take a look at my own life and go, okay, what do I believe? Or what makes me laugh, or what makes me cry, or whatever. And so it pretty much just comes from experiences of, in our first recording, growing up, a song about Snowflight, about growing up and seeing my brother grow up. Listen to the Angels is more of a, well, wait a minute, why am I talking about our first recording?
I don't know.
So it informed your second recording.
You're right. So
well, maybe talk about Boswell's Lights.
Yeah, the one that we're going to hear next is called Boswell's Lights, and it is autobiographical, but I have changed my name so people will not. I mean, we've got our neighbors here in this neighborhood that, I mean, when I turn on the lights, we're underneath the airline track, and we're like waving them in from the airport. So I love Christmas lights. And so I just thought, how can you not? I'm sort of what is Griswold? What is his name?
Clark
Griswold.
Griswold of our neighborhood, for better or for worse. Some people love it. Some people hate it. But that's how, like, the next song came about with Boswell's Lights.
That's a great intro. This is a really fun tune. I got a sneak peek before the show. I think you're going to all enjoy this one. Neal and Leandra, Boswell's Lights, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Boswell's got the strings and lights out, plastic candles, Santa's sleigh, waving snowmen, dancing reindeer. His whole life is on display. Life-size manger lit by floodlights, plywood shepherds kneel and pray. piped in sounds of barnyard mooing, and it's only Labor Day. Cars line up for blocks like a parade. People saw it first on the TV. All of the neighbors bought the blackout shades. If you couldn't before, well, by gosh, now you'll see. Merry Christmas, Power Company. Boswell's got the need to do it like an addict needs a fix. 10 below, he's still adding new things from his bag of tricks. 12-foot blow-up candy canes, wooden soldiers, silver bells, and on the roof a neon sign says ho, 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 Emmanuel. Cars line up for blocks like a parade. People saw it first on the TV. All of the neighbors bought the blackout shades. If you couldn't before, well, by golly, now you'll see. Merry Christmas, Power Company. And joy, well, it's what you make it. So drop on by some winter's night. If Boswell may not have the answers, but he'll help you see the light. And those cars line up for blocks like a parade. People saw it first on the TV. All the neighbors bought blackout shades. I once was blind, oh, now I see. Merry Christmas, Power Company. Merry Christmas for Boswell and the Power Company.
Oh, yeah. Boswell's Lights, Neal and Leandra here on the back catalog listening party. We are revisiting their 2005 release, Angels and Fools, Christmas Collection Volume 2. And man, that was a fun tune. I just love the jazzy chords and the beautiful harmonies.
That was Brian Barnes on the guitar. And so it was Brian and Gordie Johnson on the bass.
Oh,
and
wow. Some heavy hitters.
Yeah, and we referred to the background harmonies. We were going for the Doublemint Twins sort of sound was the idea there.
That was beautiful. I was hearing that. People were loving that too. Connie says, fabulous. Alinda, fun song. Awesome. Really great. Chris says, feeling a little Leon Redbone-ish.
I like that. I love that. So well. And now I don't know if our daughter is on this call or not because she was. Is she on? Well, we don't know for sure. If Madeline Peak is in there, she's checking in from Spain where she lives. But that song, I put the lights up early. But we don't light them until Thanksgiving night because that's illegal before that. It's not
that's
Christmas
true.
Eve,
that is law.
And so on Thanksgiving night, we always have the ceremonial lighting of the lights. And I make Leandra and Madeline go outside while
stand across
switch
the
on the
street.
lights.
Yeah.
You are Clark Griswold.
Oh, I am.
Totally.
And this year, because Madeline's living in Spain, she had to zoom in, and Leandra had to go across the street and show Madeline. So it's an important spiritual experience in our family.
I love it. I love it. Oh yeah, so that the Brian Barnes and Gordie Johnson. For those who aren't familiar, I mean these are two of the best jazz musicians anywhere. They can do it all. I mean they play lots of different styles of music. They've showed up on quite a few of our back catalog stuff because they were associated with a lot of Red House record recordings
Yes.
and just powerhouse musicians. Now, when you guys would play out in these shows, did you bring folks like that on stage with you, or would you kind of recreate this as a duo?
We would recreate as a duo. We occasionally, if we were going to do a really big holiday show, like at the Guthrie, one time we did a CD release for
Perry Como.
the Perry Como album. We brought a whole band with us and then had them play on the Christmas songs as well, which was super fun. But as a rule, it was usually just us. Occasionally we might bring our friend Jeff Victor, who plays piano, keyboard. He would come, and I think one time we had Dan Schwartz.
Well, we brought
Dan
Dan Schwartz, yeah. And then we would,
nice.
we went on a tour once where Dan Chenard, I don't know if you know him as a piano player, phenomenal. And then John Munson. So John Munson from Semisonic, and from
the New Standards.
Yeah, who were just past guests just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, were they?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
So John came on. John and I played basketball together for years, and so Dan and John came on the road for a tour. It was a hoot. But we usually think for us is that you can't afford to travel with the band. You don't make any money.
Yes.
So
right. And holiday stuff, especially, you get about 4 weeks or 6 weeks tops to really to do your thing.
Although we did a lot of holiday touring. I remember one year we had 22 holiday shows between Christmas and December 20th. Or no, between Thanksgiving and December 20th. And I remember after our last show,
that was on the West Coast.
Right. It was on the West Coast. We blew a tire in Colorado, and I thought, oh my gosh, we're not going to get home for Christmas. We're standing by the side of the road, and it's snowing in the Rockies, and I thought we're going to die, and we're not going to be able to get home, but we made it. So, yeah, touring before Christmas was always slightly magical and slightly harrowing because the weather was always kind of up and down, and
we had to chain up all the time in the mountains.
Yeah.
We got stuck in snow, blizzards. Why didn't we do our Christmas shows in the South, Leandra? That was like dumb.
I have no idea. Yeah, not a good idea.
Well, if you ever think about coming out of retirement to do another one, maybe just do the southern, do the cruise ship circuit or something.
Exactly. That's a better idea.
We got a fun story here from Laura. A few days ago, my daughter, who as a child attended shows with us, texted to tell us her 1-year-old had been playing with her phone and somehow landed on this song. So it lives on.
That's great.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, if you're just tuning into the show, we are talking to Neal and Leandra about their 2005 release, Angels and Fools, their second holiday collection. And this is the Back Catalog Listening Party, where we get together and we listen to music with our favorite roots artists. It's also a conversation. So as a lot of people have already done, feel free to jump in the comments with your questions for Neal and Leandra, comments or anything else you wanna chat with them about. But while you do that, I would love to spin another song. And the next one we have set up here is Fool. Anything you want to say about that one?
Yeah, actually, and we're gonna move Fool right into as we were talking about how you put together a recording or a concert. It'll go right into Silent Night because we just found it really the two went really well together. Fool is actually one of the favorite songs I've ever written. It says about everything I could think about in terms of the commercialization of Christmas and in terms. I think we've just, in my opinion, we have sanitized it so much when it's around the Christ child story, that part of it, and really, if we really thought about it, none of us would follow Jesus because he was so radical. He was asking for things that none of us are willing to do, and so I started thinking about that and just thought, what a dumb idea to send somebody down here because it's like nobody's gonna listen to him, and we still don't. So it's a very cheery song. But
great intro, Neal.
I love it.
You know, that's a great sell for people. But seriously, I love if it's one of my 5 favorite songs I've written, and people will either love it or hate it, but I don't really care because I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, you know, that's the sign of good art, right? That people love it or hate it, because it means that it comes from the heart, and this one certainly does. And like you mentioned, this is something we don't often do, but we're gonna just segue right from Fool to their rendition of Silent Night, because that's how it's sequenced on the album, and that's how they want you at home to listen to it. So I want you to, you know, if you want to go refresh that beverage now, we're going to sit down and listen to 2 songs in a row. First Fool, then Silent Night. This is Neal and Leandra here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Look up at the light, darkest of nights, a sliver of heaven gets through, and where it lands I can't understand. A child, how could it be you? Only a fool or only a rube would make this the sign of the times. How can I pray if you answer this way? In the sound of one poor baby crying. You're a fool to say there is room at the end for people like us. And if you would think twice, you'd realize this world wants none of your love. Your world's full of war. What are we fighting for? The chance to be first in the pack. Now you're telling me that the way to be free is to fight for the chance to be last. You're a fool to say there is room at the end for people like us. And if you would think twice, you'd realize this world wants none of your love. And this baby of yours, he wants nothing, of course, but a parent to cradle him tight. No need to be king of anything on this quiet, most silent of nights. So I stand here now, I can't kneel or bow at this manger of insanity. But if it is true, and child, the light is in you, would you ask God to spare some for me? But you're a fool to say there is room at the end for somebody like me. And if you would think twice, you'd realize you're wasting your love. Can't you see? You're a fool, you're a fool. Say there is room at the end for somebody like me. And if you would think twice, you'd realize you're wasting your love. Can't you see? Look up at the light, the darkest of nights, a sliver of heaven gets through.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth, Jesus, Lord, at thy birth.
Neal and Leandra, Fool, right into Silent Night here on the Back Catalog Listening Party, and I know why you sequenced them the way you did, and it was just a really powerful combination there, and a lot of people agreed with me there. Lots of wonderful comments about that. I agree with Laura here, like a warm blanket of comfort.
Well, I wanted to answer Katie's question.
Yeah, yes.
It's one of my.
This is regarding the Fool song, I believe.
Right. So I believe she was asking, yeah, curious to know if that descending melody over the chorus developed first as an organ part or as a vocal part. So yes, Jeff Victor came in. I wasn't going to sing on the song at all. It was going to be just Neal, and Jeff Victor came in and laid down the organ sound that you hear there, and he put in that little descending line. And then after we were listening to it, it was the summer. It was like July. It was hotter than blue blazes, and I was listening over and over in the car, and I thought, you know, I really think this would be great if we could bring in sort of at the very last this sort of chorus of angels so that it opens up and this person is just surrounded by this angel sound with that kind of descending line in 3-part harmony. So that's how we came up with that. So
oh, cool.
And Leandra always has wanted to have a chorus of just her.
exactly. So I thought, this is my big opportunity. I just want a chorus of Leandra.
But I do have to say, as I was listening to that, I didn't see the comments because I was closing my eyes. This is really fun. We don't ever listen to these things. And I was closing my eyes going, oh, whenever Leandra sings. And I just think of that during that one, I was thinking the Jesse Winchester line in one of his songs. You could sing the phone book if there were still a phone book. And I just I don't care what she sings. I just sit and go, oh my God, what a voice.
It was just so fun. And Jeff is so talented at coming up with that stuff. That was Jeff Victor. Yeah. And then on Silent Night, again, that was Brian Barnes. So, yeah.
Really, really amazing stuff and beautiful. I mean, the songwriting, Neal, and the singing, Leandra. This is very special, and people out there are agreeing with me. I'm gonna just do one more plug for the album because these are the people listening right now are the people that need to own this record. I get the luxury of listening to it in the higher fidelity before it goes out into the internet and gets squished in the YouTube tubes and all the rest. But man, it sounds it's wonderful production. It sounds so good. You. It really does sound like you're just sitting in a living room together. And I know folks out there would love to have this in their collection. So we talked about this earlier. You could just throw $15 in their Venmo or PayPal tip jar, which is scrolling across the screen. It's also in the comments. Throw your address in there. I bet you'd even put a signature on it for them if they would like. And you could also have a little piece of this at home with you.
Or if you want 2 of them, we have our Listen to the Angels there too. We want to get rid of these things in our basement. Or if you don't give us $15, we'll give you $15 to take it off our hands.
Oh, it's so special. Well, folks, get them both, and I'm sure that they'd sell you all the records in their collection.
Oh yeah.
We have a lot of folks that are missing you. Gary, our good friend Gary here, is saying, loving this, miss you both. And Laura has them all and loves them all. And Katie's appreciative of the story. And we're appreciative of all of you who are out there tuning in right now, because this is what it's all about. It's showing Neal and Leandra how much their music means to us. I
have to say what came to my mind right there, and that's like you again, Anthony, you stopped me or Leandra stopped me. She always does. But it reminded me of the when we were. Now I just lost my train of thought. It reminded me of something.
So this is why we don't let him talk that much. If someone asked about why we retired, there you go.
Well,
you know what? I was about to tell an incredible story, and you'll never know.
I know.
Oh my goodness, folks! Oh well, maybe we'll have to have you on again to revisit another record. Joni says you both are so fun and have the best laughs, and I agree. This is you bring a lot of joy to what you do, and I think that's what resonates as much as anything, and that's again the power of music is community. I think it's being together, and this is so special to have you both here. I wish my co-host Ellen Stanley could be there. Ellen, if you're listening, we miss you. But we know you're out there listening and you're enjoying family time with your sister in Alaska. But we have time to fit in the last song. If you guys have time to fit in the last song, I'd love to listen to another tune. It looks like the last one that we have lined up is classic. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. What would you like to say about this one?
So we have had the good fortune of working with Jeff Victor over multiple recordings. And I don't know if you know him. He's done Leandra, he's played with everybody.
Honey Dogs and oh my gosh, Jeff is just amazing. But anyway, we met him through our producer Rob Genetic, our recording engineer, and
I remember what I was going to say, Leandra.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
Rob Genetic as an engineer there is no one like it. So if there are any musicians out there that are wanting to play and get, Leandra talked about how Rob has gotten her voice unlike anybody in the world has ever gotten her voice. He is a genius. So if there are any musicians listening that are looking to record, Rob Genetic is the one. That's the story I was going to tell. Go ahead, Leandra.
You know what? And this is not the first record that he's been involved with that we've listened to, and I agree 100%.
Right.
For those who are just listening, we'll put a link to his information in the show notes, just at backcataloglisteningparty.com/139.
So we often had Jeff come play with us at our holiday shows because he's just such a versatile and wonderful person to have around. And this was the song that we always did as a traditional encore song with Jeff. And it was always a little bit like, I mean, it's so exposed, it's so bare, it's just piano and guitar and our voices. And so for this album, we were like, we have to include that. So, but what we did is this was a live take with the three of us playing at the same time in the studio. So, we were all in different booths, but we didn't record it in separate tracks. We had to get it all together. So when I listen to it, I always am brought back to that moment of thinking, when we got to the end, it was like, we did it.
And Jeff is someone that Leandra and I've talked about. It's like, I would love to come out of retirement and do one more show and do it with Jeff. Oh my God. We had so much fun. The problem is Jeff and I both have raging ADHD. And Leandra is like she's trying to herd cats. And one of our Guthrie shows, when we were doing the Guthrie show, he was going to come out, and the set way up on the balcony, whatever, and like me, so we're out there and we go, Jeff Victor, and he doesn't show up. It's like, Jeff Victor, and it was like the Sound of Music where you the Jeff family, and all of a sudden he comes running out and goes, oh shoot, I forgot. But that's what we loved about it. He is master musician. So
well, you put it out in the universe now that you'd love to come out of retirement and do a show with them. So I'm just saying, people, if you're out there, we put their contact information in the comments, so you'd let them know how much you want that. I know I would love to. Yeah. Oh, Katie agrees. One more show. One more show. I can hear the people chanting out there. But you know what? We have one more song.
Yep,
and so you guys all jump in the comments and tell them how bad you want to hear that one more show. And we're going to hear the encore. This is Neal and Leandra playing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas to close out our back catalog listening party.
Thank you.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light.
From now on, our troubles will be out of sight.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay.
From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more.
Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow.
upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Neal and Leandra, have yourself a merry little Christmas, and the perfect way to cap this hour, this wonderful hour of holiday music. Neal and Leandra, thank you so much for
thank you,
spending
Anthony.
this time with us.
And thanks to Ellen for inviting us. Gosh, we really appreciate it.
Yes, we miss you, Ellen.
And thanks to everybody for coming. Oh my goodness.
There's quite a few people out there that were agreeing that they would love to hear another show. I'm just going to say that, whether it be a live stream or anything, you clearly mean a lot to a lot of people, and I think it's so special the way that music can still bring all these feelings and people together. And you guys are why we're here. And so thank you so much for sharing this hour with us, sharing your music with us. And like we just said, thank you all for being here. This is so special. I feel like this is what it's all about, especially in the holiday season. You know, I feel like we're all together. And I don't know about you. I got all the warm fuzzies here going on. I'm ready for a little, fireplace and eggnog.
Well, everyone should get ready for their power to dip just a little, because I have to go turn on the Christmas lights. So.
Well, a lot of people loving this. Folks saying how much they appreciated the show. Unbelievable show, says Chris. Thank you all. Happy holidays. And Linda says, my heart is full. Did you want to say something, Neal?
I want to say one thing, which is we are not touring anymore. And so as artists, so many people, so many artists, their income shrunk significantly because of record sales. Buy from the artists if you can. And if you can't, then send artists money. I'm serious.
Exactly.
Serious. Your favorite artists, send them money. Help them survive, because Leandra and I had a 25-year career, and we don't know if we would have been able to survive in this current climate. So support those people that you love in music. Give them that.
Absolutely.
That 100% agree, and that is why we do what we do here at the Back Catalog Listening Party. Ellen and I realized when the lockdown happened that music was everything, and that there's so much great independent music out there that just needs to be heard. So, if you like what you heard today, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and it's going to direct more bots to Neal and Leandra. More YouTube algorithm's going to show them the way, but they'll also direct them to our YouTube channel, where every week we highlight our favorite roots musicians. These are independent artists that are out there making their living by touring and selling albums and hoping for the generosity of people who love music. And just by you being here, it tells them every week how much you appreciate it. So I want to thank you all for being here, and I want to spend out a special thanks to our Patreon community. We thought this was going to be a 6-week, 8-week. What did they say? You'll be back to normal in a month or two. But as we all know, we're years into it now, and we're so grateful for the folks that came in and said, we want you to keep this going. So a special thank you to Penny, Ann, Alinda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Alan, Chris, Alex, Becky, Galen, Peggy, Joe, Jim, Beverly, and John, Fred, Tim, Sarah, David, Jocelyn, Court, Matt, Steve, Mark, Homestead Pick and Parlor, Severin, Lynn, Jake, Mary, Many Tracks, and Nikki, and maybe you. If you wanna jump on our Patreon, that'd be great. We have after parties with guests. We have special VIP concerts, and really, if nothing else, we just love to see you back here some week. It's every Friday at 4:00 where we get to celebrate independent music, and we would love to see you here again. And once again, I want to thank Neal and Leandra, both of you, for sharing your hour with us.
Thanks.
This was great. And on
Anthony,
behalf of
great.
Oh, thank you. Well, Ellen is the radio pro, so I did what I could, Ellen.
You did a great job.
And but I love this. This is from the heart. Like, listening to music together is what we should all be doing more of. I think it would make the world a better place. So, thank you for being here, and until next week, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on the Back Catalog Listening Party. Take care.
Bye.